Okay, for those that can't see, that might be watching this video, this says, this is not a safe zone, safe space, or sanctuary. You will be required to handle your own business. All thin-skinned, overly sensitive whiners should vacate this area immediately. Okay. I'm going to tell you something, man. The Second Amendment. It is there to protect all our other amendments. But they're all being taken away from us by force, and we're consenting to it over and over again. So, you consent to giving away your Second Amendment? What rights do you have left that you can defend yourself with, or defend those rights with? What will you have? See, this is one of the main misconceptions that the propaganda and the brainwashing has been trying to infiltrate into society or in people's minds. And 606, his statement is a perfect example of ignorance of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is not there to protect our right to hunt. You know, that's not what it's there for. It's for self-defense. Okay? It is there so we can protect ourselves against tyranny. Okay? Tyranny. Founding Fathers knew exactly the dangers of having a standing army. Like, for instance, today, the military that we have today does not fight for us, the people. It fights for the corporation, which is posing as the government. Yes, that's all it fights for, is that government. It does not fight for us people. Now, a militia, what the Founding Fathers knew would be the only necessary national defense, would be a militia. And everybody in this country can be part of a militia, or you are the militia. You are the last line of defense of this country when it comes down to the national security of this country. Okay? This land you're standing on, this everything, you are the last line of defense. Okay? And in this argument saying, you know, oh, well, they had muskets back then. Well, of course, at that time, muskets were the technology, that was the tip of the top technology when it comes down to warfare. Even the military at that time, the British military and all that stuff, which was the most advanced military at that time, used muskets also. It is in our DNA, especially the ones that have been here. It is in our DNA to rebel against tyranny. It is in our blood, and we must stand up against it. The tree of liberty must be replenished with the blood of tyrants from time to time. This notion that the Second Amendment means that we have the right to hunt is bullshit lie. It is a lie. It is not what it's for. Second Amendment is there to protect all our other rights, and then on top of that, it is necessary for all of us to have access without restrictions to any weapon that the military has. Because you cannot be outgunned by the military. That's tyranny. That's not freedom. If you are unarmed and unable to protect yourself from the military, the government, that's tyranny. That's not freedom. If you allow the government to tell you what your rights are, which they don't give you rights. See, the Constitution is not giving you these rights. Just because it's written down on a piece of paper, it's not giving you these rights. These are inalienable rights. These are rights that are given to you by God. When you were born, you have these rights. That is just written down on a piece of paper so it could be insured and protected. Away from government, from taking it away from you. Because that's exactly what our forefathers wanted to get away from. That's what they fought off the British. See, the British said the exact same thing back in the day. When they were trying to disarm everybody here in the Americas, when it comes down to it, they were trying to take everybody's weapons and all this other stuff. And anybody that disobeyed or did not comply, they either shot or they called them terrorists. Especially if they fought back. If the people fought back because the British were taking their guns, the British would call them terrorists. Doesn't that sound like something like they might try and do today? I mean, seriously. If they started to go and doing this door-to-door thing that people fear, which it could happen, if they get ballsy enough to just say, fuck it, we claim that we own you. The government saying this to you, we own you, so we can tell you what to do and what you can't do, and we're going to come in there with all these other people with guns using assault weapons and gun violence against you to stop gun violence. It's not going to happen. See, this any gun law or statute or code, really, it's not a law. Any of these things are nothing but infringements on your Second Amendment right. Anything, here in Florida, I can't even open carry or conceal carry. I can't open a carry unless I'm like going fishing or something. But I can't even conceal carry unless I get permission from the state and pay a extortion fee and get their permission to, see, they try to force me to give up my God-given right, which I already have anyway, and then get their permission and sell that right back to me as in the form of a privilege, where they can put stipulations and fines and punishments if I don't obey their guidelines or whatever. See, I already have this right, and they want to force me at gunpoint, because that's exactly what's going to happen. They'll force me at gunpoint, and then they'll try and put me through the court system or whatever, and then extort money out of me, or put me in a cage because I don't have their permission. Which is bullshit. I don't need their permission. I'm God-given rights in the Second Amendment. But that's an infringement. That's exactly any of these laws, any of them. They're infringements on our right to protect ourselves against tyranny, and it's tyranny that's trying to take it away. That's trying to force us to, just give it up. And a lot of these people are just starting to believe they're a fucking lie. Like 606 right there, for instance, is a prime example. He believes the lie. He believes that, the Second Amendment, that's all about hunting. And you don't need an AR or a, AK-47 or SKS, or you don't need all these military style type weapons and stuff to go hunting a deer and stuff, you know. But I believe in the Second Amendment. But you don't know what the fucking Second Amendment means and what it even says, you dumbass. You just know it's the right to bear arms. That's about probably the only words that you even know. And that ain't, you know, that, you know, that's what's it. The ignorance of what the founding fathers knew exactly what was going on. They knew exactly the dangers of all this shit that they're predicting and has now come to pass, because exactly right after that shit was written down and ratified, it was just, the thing is, man, these people they've been trying to dismantle it and destroy it and programming the populace for generations, and it got to some of them. There's a lot of people out there they're just fine. They're demanding their own slavery by saying, you know, well, yeah, I think it's okay. Me personally, I don't think you need this, or I don't think you need that. Well, it's a good thing it's not the Bill of Needs. It's the Bill of Rights, you fucking sons of bitches. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit what you think I need, okay? If you don't think you need that, then don't have it. Don't have it. All right? But don't sit there and allow your politicians to write legislation down that is backed by force, backed by people with guns, to come take my guns away if I have them, just because you don't think I need them. I don't give a shit what the fuck you think I need. Maybe I don't think you need a blue shirt. You know what I mean? I think you got one too many blue shirts, and I don't think you need that many blue shirts. So I'm gonna send guys over there with guns and badges and costumes, and they're gonna fucking threaten you, and they're either gonna, like, if you don't comply, they might beat the shit out of you and maybe even shoot you if you even resist. And, you know, but otherwise they'll probably, you know, just steal some money from you and maybe put you in a cage if you don't comply, you know. But like, worst case scenario, they'll just probably shoot you. I mean, it could be. It just depends on the mood that the guys that I send down there are in. You know, it depends. I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, there's one guy that, you know, he has problems with his wife sometimes, and he just wants to take it out on whoever he gets a hold of. So, I mean, you know, it's a good possibility that, you know, he just might shoot you just to save time and not write a report. You know, I don't give a flying fuck what you think I need or you think anybody needs. If you do not think you need an AR, if you think you do not need a goddamn SKS, if you think you do not need an AK, if you think you don't need a shotgun, I don't give a shit. If you don't think you need that stuff, then don't get it. Don't have it. Do not impose your will on others. That's going against other people's rights. All right? Now, you have the right to not own these things, but you do not have the right to impose your will through legislation, through political lying fucking assholes that use the police and military as their weapons of choice. I mean, seriously, do you really believe you're going to get rid of gun violence by using gun violence? I mean, really? Because that's exactly what you're asking for when you're saying that, you know, oh, I don't think people need this and that. Okay, well then next thing you know, you know, if you get your way, you know, they'll have some kind of a law or not. Actually, it won't be a law. It would be a statute or a code. But they'll confuse the same. They always confuse them as being the same thing. So that's why so many people say, oh, it's the law. It's the law. It really isn't a law. It's actually a statute or a code, and there's a difference. And they're blurring the lines between all this stuff, between private and public and all that sort of shit. But anyway, I digress. The thing is, we all have these inalienable rights that are given to us by God. Okay? They're not given to us by government because they're written down in the Constitution. That is just there to ensure and protect those God-given rights. Okay? So when you start, asking permission from the government, they're not giving you these rights. They're giving you privileges in exchange for those rights that you already have. You're giving it up. You're voluntarily giving it up when you say, "Oh yeah, that's okay. We'll just enact a law or something like that, and say that they can't have this. And well, anybody that owns this now is considered a criminal in the courts." So, you know how many outlaws there really going to be out there? Which there's a difference between an outlaw and a criminal. You know what I mean? You got to know the difference between the two. Because I'm going to tell you something, man.
Yeah, and that and the lawsuits and the fucking cops breaking your balls.
There's going to be a lot of people that are going to die because this communism that's trying to spread through this country is not going to last, because that's not America. That's not the American values and our morals. This communism bullshit, this socialism shit, it's going to come down to a shooting war. It really will. I can feel it. And it's not going to be pretty. There's going to be a lot of people dying. I can already see it. These Antifa motherfuckers, they're going to try some shit. And they're all connected to the fucking internet. They're going to try some shit. And it could be at a mass scale. It could be just because, they were told to do it. And they got a little nudge. They got, maybe some financial backing. It's like, and some ideas on how to do this and that. Maybe even blueprints and shit like that. Next thing you know, something's going to happen. Because those little fucking Antifa motherfuckers out there just the same thing as the damn redcoats back in the day. It's just the brown shirts. That's what I was thinking about. I'm telling you, man, these fuckers are all Nazis. They're all communist fucks, and we need to eradicate this idea. And I kind of think it's kind of too late for 606 because he's brain dead. But I heard that, I made that video, and I had to make some kind of a follow-up, man, because I was just like, anybody out there watching these videos, I'd like to hear what your opinion, what your comments on the Second Amendment are, or any of our amendments, the first, all the way up through just the first 10. Actually, it's the first. Yeah, it's 10 is the first. The first 10 is what you really need to know. And how many of them do you really think you have? Because once the Second Amendment is gone, where they have forced it away from all of us, who's going to have the guns? It's going to be the government. And let me ask you this question also, and I'd like to hear your answer. Do you trust the government? And do you trust them with all the guns? But anyway, I digress.